Good afternoon, everybody. We'll get started in about 1 minute. All right, everybody. Sorry about that. All right, everybody. It is 2 o'clock on Wednesday, February 1st. This is going to be our last briefing on this ICE event because we are hoping that by this time tomorrow, everything we'll be kind of getting out of the area and we'll be kind of saying goodbye to all this winter type weather. So as typical, I'm going to have some time at the very, very end that if you want to type in some questions, I'll try to get to all the questions toward the very, very end. But with that, we will get started. So the key messages for this event: continuing a very, very dangerous icing event ongoing for portions of South Central Texas, especially the hill country areas. I would say mainly north of like San Marcos, northward and west is where most of the big ice accumulations that we've seen so far. The winter storm warning remains in effect until Thursday morning. We'll talk about that. Some adjustments to that expiration time. As of right now, the expiration time is at 6 a.m. tomorrow, but I'll explain why we may need to actually adjust that for some counties possibly. Additional ice accumulations of 1/10 to up to 1/3 of an inch are again possible throughout the day today and also through tonight and early tomorrow morning. The hill country and the northern, far northern areas would actually kind of see these highest accumulations, lesser amounts as you head south and east. The travel will remain dangerous through Thursday morning, and best advice again, stay indoors and especially now away from trees. We are having a lot of videos being sent to us showing all the large trees and tree branches that are falling because of the weight of the ice. So that's becoming a very, very dangerous situation, and we need to be able to message that out to everybody to stay away from underneath trees until all that ice melts off. And then finally, the scattered power outages that are going to continue as the ice continues to build up. On the far left there, this is our current watch and warning map. This is a little bit of adjusted. So what you see in our area, all the light pink color, that is still where we have the winter storm warnings that we actually have in effect. What we have just done within the last 30 minutes is remove counties such as Wilson, Gonzales, and Fayette County and Medina County out of the warning area, as well as canceling the winter weather advisories that we had toward the coast. Reason being, the temperatures just down in this region have been above freezing for the most part, so we have not been seeing any sort of additional accumulation, and we don't think we will going forward. On the far right, you can actually see high pressure areas still kind of building into the region. That's why the cold weather is still around. As far as our current local temperatures, screen capture from 1:30 this afternoon. Try to draw in where the freezing line is, and again, it's mainly across where the warning area is right now. There is still a part of far northern Bexar County that is still below freezing, but for the most part, Interstate 35 and Interstate 10 northward is where we have pretty much all the temperatures still hanging right below freezing. Not horrifically cold, but just cold enough where the ice is not melting. The rain has not stopped, and it will still not stop until probably sometime tomorrow. And the culprit here is this upper level low pressure area that's off of Baja. It's going to be ejecting to the east across Texas later today, tonight, and early tomorrow, bringing more rainfall, more freezing rain to the state. Current radar image here, you can see some very, very light radar echoes, some very, very light rain, light freezing drizzle still across portions of northeast and northern central parts of South Central Texas, but there's a whole big batch more of light to moderate freezing rain, possibly even some embedded sleet that'll be coming again across the hill country and across the area overnight. This is a good close-up view of what our current watches, warnings, and advisories look like. Again, winter storm warnings in effect in all the colors of pink here for all of these counties. Again, freezing rain, hazardous travel. So when I talked earlier about we may need to adjust, as of right now, we have all these warnings expiring at 6 a.m. There is a chance that especially the northern tier of these counties, northern parts of South Central Texas, we may have to extend that a little bit later into Thursday morning if the temperatures still hold overnight below freezing and the rain has not obviously stopped. So we may make that adjustment either later this evening or early tomorrow morning. So bank on that we'll probably have to still make some adjustments to the expiration time of these warnings, pushing it a little bit deeper into Thursday morning instead of the 6 a.m. Here's a map that kind of shows where we think the additional accumulation will be. Again, kind of mainly Interstate 35 westward, and the hill country would see the highest. Again, we're talking about totals upwards of 1/3 of an inch. Scattered power outages, and again, the travel impacts just won't kind of go away. Now, luckily, for the most part, we've been hearing that a lot of the roads are still drivable. The overpasses, no, but the roads, yes. But now we're having issues as the power lines, especially the trees and the tree branches, come down, and they're actually blocking a lot of the roads. So that would be kind of one of the issues that we're having going forward as well. For the northern tier of Bexar County, or the northern portions of San Antonio, maybe thinking about 1/10 of an inch. The same thing with the Austin area and the hill country, though, 1/10 of an inch, maybe even up to 1/3 of an inch. Again, we're still banking on that. I think the hill country will get the higher totals overnight. Elsewhere, like south along Highway 90 between Hondo and Del Rio, as well as maybe the eastern parts of Interstate 10 from San Antonio east over towards just south of LaGrange and Schulenburg area, maybe some light glazing. We've issued a special weather statement to kind of handle maybe some pockets of some light accumulation, but for the most part, we think this area that we have highlighted with the ice is where we're going to get the majority of the ice accumulation tonight. Here's some low temperature forecast for tonight. Again, hovering along Interstate 35, right around that 31 to 33 range. Downtown San Antonio should remain above freezing. Hill country should remain below freezing. And the good news, tomorrow, Thursday, high temperatures getting up into the 40s. As far as the hourly temperatures go, we really kind of think that early morning out in the hill country, especially, still below freezing. Mid-morning, probably start to get above freezing, and then by noon, everybody should be above freezing, headed into the 40s. So road conditions, ice will still be on sidewalks, probably in all the iced areas right now, will still be there probably by dawn tomorrow, and it won't be until later morning that we think some of that will start to clear up. So still have about another, 18 hours or so probably of having the ice stick around before we're hopefully saying goodbye to it. So again, the main key takeaways: dangerous travel conditions still expected through tomorrow morning, and that's when the winter storm warning will officially expire. Again, as of right now, 6 a.m., but that may have to get pushed out a little bit later into Thursday morning for some of the northern counties, or the counties that have the most ice, especially accumulating tonight. That additional accumulation, 1/10 to 1/3 of an inch, mainly over the north and northwest areas. And again, travel remains dangerous for those iced areas, so please stay off the roads in those areas, stay indoors, get away from the trees with all that tree branch and tree issue that we're kind of seeing right now. And then again, just like yesterday, some of these websites that will really kind of keep everybody adjusted to what kind of temperatures and chances of rain we're doing. Weather.gov/forecast points. Click anywhere on the map that pulls up, and you'll get access to our database with hourly weather information going all the way out to 7 days. And then also the Texas Mesonet, again, a one good website, a one-stop shop to getting radar, temperatures, watches and warnings, all coming from the Texas Water Development Board and the website that they've created. So with that, I can take some questions. I'm getting a few in there right now. From Jeff, would you recommend a 10 a.m. start for Kendall versus 8 a.m.? Jeff, it's a hard call for me because I don't know exactly what the roads are doing out there right now, but I just know that the threat of freezing rain will probably still be around by the early morning hours around dawn. And depending on how much you already have on the ground and how much is still falling at that time, it would seem to me, that anywhere in the hill country that has been really kind of hit hard with the ice, you're still below freezing right now in most of those areas. So, probably a little bit more caution. You probably won't be, totally out of the clear until probably late morning-ish is kind of my bet for not only in the Bernie area and Kendall County, but then also going out into the hill country. That's my bet right now. James, so other than the most northern part of Bexar County, the county and city of San should be out of the freezing here, correct. So yes, as of right now, they've been hanging right above the freezing mark. We're not really expecting a significant drop in temperatures across most of the area all tonight. In fact, we may even get some areas to again start to warm up again if the rain gets pretty heavy like we did last night. But for the most part, I think the only issue for Bexar County would be the far northern tier of Bexar County. Confidence for ice inside 1604 overnight and morning. The only confidence that I would really have would be the far western section of 1604, as well as the flyovers and overpasses. As you know, if you've just even touched 32 at those really high flyovers, they're going to ice. So you're still going to possibly have some road issues in that sort of range. But for the most part, the city inside 1604, or at least the road portions, should probably be okay. Still can't rule out some accumulation on trees and mailboxes and that sort of a thing. But overall, the travel inside 1604, from what I have seen, has been pretty decent. But maybe someone else can address that if need be. What time did you say anticipate the update and warnings? We're going to look at more data as it comes in later tonight and this evening. So hopefully by news time tonight, by like that 10 o'clock time frame, we will have known whether or not we need to extend those warnings into later than 6 a.m. Thursday. So we're going to pass on to the next shift to monitor, and then hopefully they can make an adjustment if need be. If the data comes in that it looks like we're going to be staying below freezing already still at 6 a.m. in some of those northern areas of South Central Texas, then maybe hopefully we'll have made a change or an adjustment to the warning expiration already then by later tonight. Where can I download your slides? I'm actually going to be, Frank, I'm going to be sending all these slides out again to everybody that has been registered for these, so you can get them directly from an email that probably will come within an hour or about an hour or so. Additional ice in the Shirt Cibolo area and the timing. So here in New Braunfels, which is not too far away from that portion of Guadalupe County, we've been hanging around 32, 33, and 32 degrees all day. So even though I've been seeing some melting off some of the trees, some of the ice is actually still on everything. So we can still have some additional ice on exposed items like the trees and branches. I don't think we'll get anything worse than what the bridges and the roads are already getting, because we've had this basically now for about 36, almost 48 hours. And for the most part, most of the roads that are on the ground with soil underneath have been passable, especially like in Guadalupe County. Bridges, again, totally a different sort of story. So the bridges can still be very, very slippery and very, very have a little glaze on it, especially if it just drops down just to that 32 mark. So, and timing wise, from literally right now as I speak all the way through tomorrow morning, we're still going to have those waves of light rain come through. And again, those temperatures, you may go down the road and it's 31, you may go a quarter mile away and it's 33. So you could have some spotty glazing of ice in some places. I'll take a break real quick because there's no more questions event right now coming in. Let me get rid of some of mine to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, can you pull back up the hourly temperature view? Lorenzo, that little hourly view that I had was not a current one, so stand by. Yeah, if you're talking about that, that was not our current sort of a graph. That was just a screen capture that I did from the other day. What I can do, Lorenzo, stand by. I'm going to try to pull up one for you. So while I'm doing that, folks, if anybody has any other questions, put them in there. Let's see. Still trying, Lorenzo, stand by. Okay, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, Lorenzo, or not, but if I pan down, I clicked on right in the middle of the city of San Antonio. And so here's the hourly graph. So again, we can kind of see that we're expecting 34, 35. The issue is that if I go and I click on just outside of, let's say, 1604 up here by UTSA as an example, temperatures are at least a few degrees colder. So again, I really think the main issue is going to be on the far northern outskirts of San Antonio into the highest elevation up here by Timberland Park, up by Bernie, Scenic Hills, up 281, I think, because if I do a little temperature graph up here, let it load up here. You can kind of see now we kind of dip into that 32. So, you know, I do think it's probably going to be an issue of outside of 1604 is where we have any sort of additional sort of ice accumulation tonight. Thank you, Lorenzo, for letting me know that you can actually see that. That's cool. Anything else from anybody? Going, gone. So again, this is the last briefing that we're anticipating, unless something crazy happens tonight. I will try to get these slides and the recording out to everybody like I have the last couple of days. So with that, stay safe, stay away from those trees, let all that ice and stuff melt off first, and let's enjoy the warmer weather as we head into the weekend. So with that, thank you everybody for attending these briefings. Hopefully they have helped. If you have any suggestions, please send my way. We're always looking to improve and to give you emergency managers what you actually need. So with that, I will sign off. So have a good day, everybody.